everyone will be aware that we're at that crucial mid-period in the 4-year World Cup cycle. 2 years in and 2 years to go. So I'm sure unsurprisingly for everyone, the New Zealand Rugby Board and management, high performance team have taken a very comprehensive review of the All Blacks' progress at this point in the cycle, and in particular the 2025 year and where the team had got to by the end of 2025. That review was undertaken in the last couple of weeks of this year and the first couple of weeks of the new year, and all of that material was gathered together and worked through by the high performance team and then presented to the board, and discussions have followed. The view of the high performance team and of us generally was that the All Blacks are not on track in the way that we need them to be on track for the 2027 World Cup, and indeed for what will be a very demanding year in 2026 with the 4 matches against South Africa in rugby's greatest rivalry. So having reached that conclusion, we entered into discussions with the head coach of the All Blacks, and following those discussions we weren't convinced that the team was going to be back on track without changes, and we had further discussions with the head coach, and we mutually agreed that he would step down from his post. And I really have a great deal of respect for Scott Robertson. He has stepped down on the basis of what he believes and we believe is in the best interests of New Zealand rugby and of the team. And that's very typical of Scott, that he would do what he thought was right and best for the team. So we thank him very much for that, and we also pay tribute to the more broader contribution he's made to New Zealand rugby over an extended period of time. He's an All Black, he's played for the All Blacks and obviously contributed a tremendous amount through his coaching success, particularly at the Crusaders, but with New Zealand under-20s as well, and a range of other ways contributed to New Zealand rugby. So I want to thank him publicly for that and wish him all the best. So those are my opening remarks.
David, this is a major decision by the NZR, but how inevitable was it given the findings of the review?
Nothing's ever inevitable. I don't think you go into every stage of a discussion in these types of reviews with an open mind, looking for more information to help you make the right decision, and you engage more people that can provide you with information that you think is important. I think there's always a momentum in these things. They start to build a momentum, and you start to be moving in towards one direction. But it's important to stay open-minded and.
There was a clear picture of things not going.
Yes, certainly when the board had analysed the material and the management, the high-performance team here had analysed the material, there was a clear initial hypothesis that things were not on track, and obviously we needed to talk to the coach and the head coach in particular and others about that. But before we jump to a final conclusion, but yes, the review did give us a clear direction.
Can you elaborate on the review findings?
It's not really appropriate to talk in detail about any review findings. There are a lot of things covered in the review and a lot of opinions and approaches taken, but the direction was clear and they certainly had an influence on the outcome.
Were all the players canvassed, or a general number of players, including the senior leadership group of players? Were they all canvassed, and were you getting the same message? Not
every player was canvassed, but a large number of players were canvassed. Close to 20 players were canvassed, a little under, and the management, the most senior management, and all of the coaches, including of course the head coach. And yes, there was a consistent theme, there was a consistent direction delivered to us, which was what we then followed up on and investigated further.
There were eruptions in 2024 and they've obviously grown in 2025. How much have the last couple of years set back Black Rugby?
I think Scott's done some very good things in his tenure, and as he has said a number of times, I'm happy to absolutely agree with. He's introduced a number of young players to what it means to be in the All Blacks environment, what it means to play with the intensity and accuracy required at international rugby. So he's done a lot of good things. So I think there's a lot of strands, there's a lot of elements to the development of a team, and there's a lot of it's a very challenging environment in All Blacks high performance environment. So I think
Clearly you weren't seeing enough improvement or going to see enough.
I think trajectory is a good word to apply. We weren't seeing the trajectory that we wanted, and I think fans will probably share that view that there were things that we were ways that we were playing and ways we were feeling a bit short. Falling short, I say, of the excellence that we're looking for, that never really got addressed over the year. So I think that was certainly a theme.
Is it just Scott Robertson department?
Yes, that's the only role that's changing.
But a new coach will come in and obviously want his own assistant coaches.
That's highly likely. Yeah, and a new coach, a new head coach will be able to appoint their own staff.
Appoint their own assistant coaches.
Yes.
David, what things does the new coach need to do better?
So what?
What things does the new coach need to do better?
I don't want to be specific because that puts a cross on the forehead of the new coach, and says the chairman said you have to do this. The new coach may have different and better ways of thinking about how to do things. So I don't want to be specific about what a new coach ought to be or ought not to be doing. I mean, when we go through the process of appointing a new coach, those new coaches will clearly present their plans and the way in which they go about coaching, and that will. We'll either agree with that or we won't.
Do you have someone in mind who you want to be the new head coach?
No one in mind, completely open. We're going to cast the net wide. We're going to get as many people as we can. We think that coaching the All Blacks is is the greatest rugby coaching role in the world. And we're very hopeful we'll see plenty of highly qualified candidates.
David, the feedback come around culture or game plan? Was there a specific area where the team wasn't on track?
I think, high performance environments like the All Blacks are you can't disaggregate them and say, oh, this was right and that was wrong. The environment is either working or it isn't, and there's a whole range of different components to that. But it's much more sensible to think about the environment delivering performance, which is delivering trajectory for where we need to go. Improvements, learning, adaptability, all those sorts of things that we need to be doing, and then the environment needs to be set up to deliver. And so I think it's better to consider it in a broader trajectory sense than it is to try and disaggregate the environment.
Was this ultimately a captain's call that you've made?
No, not at all. This is the board call. All the material that was presented. That was collected, was presented to the board and discussed in detail at a board meeting that lasted 2 or 3 hours. So the board was across all the material, and all the board directors had lots of questions and lots of discussion. Obviously, management, high performance management, and Steve Lancaster, the acting CEO, was at the board meeting, and. Following all of that discussion, the board was unanimous in the directions it gave with regard to the conversations with the head coach.